Holidays can be stressful, but cocktails shouldn't be. Today I'm going to show you how to make a super easy spin on a classic that you and your guests will love. Now before we get into the grog, I'd love for all of you that love fun and unique cocktails, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell so you'll get notified about my new videos. Hi everyone, welcome to the Cocktail Academy. By the end of this video, you will learn my favorite easy mulled wine recipe that has just a 5-minute prep time. But be sure to stay tuned until the end because I'm also going to share a great non-alcoholic version. So that way everyone at the party can have a hot and tasty beverage. I'm Rochelle Jones, owner of Southern Twist Cocktails and the Boozy Mermaid. It's time to make delicious drinks. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now here's what you're going to need. You can either screenshot the recipe to save it for later, or there's a link in the description box below with the full recipe. All right, now I have the ingredients ready to go right over here. This is going to be a crockpot cocktail, which I love those because they're so easy to make, and then you can actually enjoy the party along with your guests. Today we're going to be making this in an Instant Pot, which we're just going to use the slow cooker setting. So let's get all these ingredients together and whip this up. Time to put the whole orange in. Another reason I love to leave the skin on with the oranges is because of the aesthetics of the wheels. I have mentioned several times in my videos that fruit wheels just look phenomenal even when they're in a slow cooker or a crock pot. They just add a lot of visual interest to the drink. Now before we finish up this mulled wine, I'd really like to know what you're drinking this holiday season. And let me know if there are any cocktails you'd like to see. Let me know in the comments. Now the red wine in mulled wine is pretty flexible, but one good rule of thumb is that the bigger and bolder the better to stand up to all those mulled wine spices. So for today, and with this particular recipe, I chose APOTHIC Red. It's a great full-bodied, fruit-forward wine, has a blend of SYRAH, ZINFANDEL, and CABERNET, and actually all three of those, the CABERNET, the ZINFANDEL, and the SYRAH, are all great options on their own as well. One of the great things about mulled wine is that it's so flexible. There are so many ways to change it up based on your preference for tartness, sweetness, richness, boldness. And one of those things that you can change up is the liqueur that you choose. Typically mulled wine calls for brandy. Today I actually used a Polish cherry vodka. It does drink a lot like a kirsch or a cherry brandy, but I like some sweeter, richer, fruit-forward flavors, so this really draws those out in this mulled wine. All right, and that's it. We have everything in there and ready to go. Typically, I like to heat this up just below a simmer, and you can keep this on a low setting, so be sure on the Instant Pot, you want to put it on slow cooker, but it takes about 4 hours before it's really ready to go. So I recommend just setting it up the day of your event and serving it when the guests arrive. There are so many ways to change up this recipe. Here are a couple easy modifications. You can use water instead of apple cider. You can take out the liqueur, or you can use rum, cognac, or even bourbon instead of the brandy. Now here's a delicious non-alcoholic recipe that you can serve your guests this holiday season. I'm putting it on the screen, but there are a lot of ways you can change up this recipe as well. One of my favorite things about hot mulled beverages are the amazing aromatics. This entire house smells like the holidays now. So you can say, I'm officially in the holiday spirit. Now, if you're looking to serve your family and friends even more recipes, then be sure to check out my guide to classic cocktails. You can find that in the link in the description box below. Now it's time for the top tip of the week, and that is to always anticipate your guests' needs. Doesn't matter whether you're having 3 friends over for a casual dinner or you're hosting a dinner of 50. The more you know about your guest and what they like and what they don't like, the better host you can be and the better time they'll have. And it's also really impressive when you take the time to see what they would like when you're the one putting on the party. So when it comes to cocktails, there's a couple little things that go a long way. And one of those, ask your guests whether or not they even would prefer an alcoholic beverage. There are so many great mocktails and non-alcoholic options out there, so don't be afraid to ask. Also, if they do drink, what is their favorite liquor, or wine, or beer? And what kinds of cocktails, if any, do they prefer? Just from those couple questions, you can learn a lot about what they will enjoy and how you can make their evening even more memorable. Thank you so much for joining me in the first of the holiday cocktail series and crockpot cocktails. I hope to see you next week for some hot buttered rum. Now be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to make amazing cocktails and maybe impress those friends. Don't forget to hit the bell to get notified about new videos. Now before we go, if you try today's cocktail, I'd love to hear about it. Be sure to tag me on Instagram or leave a comment below. So I have my mulled wine beverage in my hand. The house smells amazing. The tree is up. Now it's time to learn how to make this turkey. Thank goodness I know how to make a mean cocktail. And thank goodness for YouTube. See you next week. Cheers.